We are the keepers of the flame, the sacred order. Let the ceremony begin.
And today, faithful acolytes, we take a look at this.
Our ceremonial sauce comes courtesy of Roger Dams of Burn Your Tongue, cleverly not so hidden in the Quilted Bear in the Newgate Mall in Ogden, Utah. We raise our flames to Roger. The hallowed shelves of Burn Your Tongue now hold over 700 sauces, making Burn Your Tongue one of the largest sauce purveyors anywhere. If you're a chili head, you must make the pilgrimage. You can also find Roger on Facebook at the link in the description below.
And what this is from Merf's, it is the Peaches and Scream. Not only the second Peaches and Scream I've done, but the second I've done in 2024, oddly enough. The other one being from Ginger Goat, and you can check that review out if you follow the link to the written review here in the description below, and then you can go to the table of contents on the blog. Check out the blog if you're interested. So, Peaches and Carolina Reaper. And this comes out of collar right here. And very unusual. This is a very, very thin sauce for a fruit-based sweet hot. This is honestly about the consistency of like a Louisiana style. Super loose, super watery. All right, so we start with carrots, then lemon juice, vinegar, mango, peaches, habaneros, sugar, salt, and the Reaper. So, kind of an interesting approach, I think, to... I'm sure they just wanted to use the name Peaches and Scream. And to say that this one is the last ingredient, Carolina Reaper, Peaches is about in the middle. So to kind of put those front and center on the label, I think is kind of weird. Also, I'm like, carrot is the first ingredient, and it's really this watery. I think probably more like, and lemon juice too is way high up in the list. I think probably vinegar is more likely the first ingredient here, but it's an interesting label, I guess. Interesting sauce, interesting approach. So, flavor-wise, it is very, very astringent, and we'll talk about that here shortly. Okay, so there you can see it is this orangish color, very, very orangey color. Thanks, I'm sure, in no small part to the carrots and the peaches. I mean, it looks fine. It looks okay. It's just, it is so watery that it just makes it a little challenging. Well, it's one of the challenges. It makes it a little challenging to find places to use it. And the profile is, I guess I'm ultimately just not quite sure what they were trying to do with this sauce. But I'm getting ahead of myself just a tad. So let's get into the taste test by itself first. It is very punchy. I think I gave this a 3. So definitely we're chili head only territory here for this. The flavor is really odd. It's there is carrots lemon, a slight undercurrent of mango as well. What there is not is peaches. I didn't really get any peaches out of that straight. And the peaches is going to be in the name of the sauce. For me, I think it needs to be a little bit more front and center in the flavor profile. Certainly, I've had a lot of sauces with peaches. You can also check that out on the table of contents on the blog if you're interested. But again, it's another, I just don't quite get what they were trying to do with the sauce. And maybe if I knew, I could say whether it was successful or not. It's an interesting sauce, I think. Very, very, very bitey, though. It is quite punchy. So, all right. Fruit-based, sweet hots, and I think shrimp go together super, super, super well. So that's what we got today. We've got this crunchy jumbo butterfly shrimp. And we're just gonna whack through this. So if you have something with breading, the runniness is less of a detriment. But this is not a sauce, for example, you can use the dipping sauce. This probably will show up in the Q2 2024 wing thing, because I am a bit, it'll probably work well on wings given how runny it is here. But we'll see what kind of burger we get out of it. Definitely, like I said, there's no mistaking that there's a super hot in this. No question about that. Interestingly enough, we have sort of vanishing flavor here. Let me see if that does it again. Huh. All right, well. So peach flavor for me is a fairly subtle flavor. And I think it's getting drowned out by everything else in this sauce. I should also say, this is not an especially sweet sauce. It is quite astringent. There is an undercurrent of sweetness to it. It's not like, it doesn't follow Louisiana style in that respect, where it's super vinegar forward. I mean, I really don't know where else to go with it beyond putting on something breaded, because it is just so very runny. And otherwise you just get a bunch of it on the plate. But it has managed to drown out been drowned out rather by the food on pretty much everything I eat it on with breading. I did try it on rotisserie chicken. I didn't love it there. You can mix it in with something else, I guess, to cut it and give it a lot more heat. Like a barbecue sauce, maybe. Very odd sauce. I you can see I've gone through about half of it. Usually by now I know what to make of a sauce. This one I'm still finding kind of confusing. The bottle doesn't give any help either. It says put on your favorite foods. Well, one of my favorite foods is sushi, and the last thing I would put on that is this. or really any other hot sauce. Let's just go with, say, pizza. I did try this on pizza. It was a pretty unholy mess. Not even remotely what I would say was a successful experiment. I mean, I'm sitting at a good 2-ish right now. Very, very pleasant sort of burn. I mean, it did okay cutting the richness of all the breading that was on there. It definitely brought some heat to the party. It surely brought some heat to the party. It didn't really bring a lot of flavor, though. You know, I guess that's the question is there a place for a sauce that does that? That is too runny to really use in a lot of places, has the wrong profile to use in like cream stuff. So when you're using it on things that are breaded and so on, and it gets lost, and all you're really left with then is some definite heat, you know, and some cutting of the richness from the vinegar. For me, not really. I don't know. I'll probably try to slug through this. Being a reaper, I do like to try to keep some of those around when I'm in the midst of doing challenges like I am now. Just because I have to build up my tolerance for reaper separate to everything else. So it is kind of handy to have this around where I can actually do that readily. I don't keep a lot of reaper sauces though. So it's something that is nice to have just in hand where I can use it for building and stuff like that. But I don't think that's an application that most people out there are probably going to have. So that's probably fairly unique to myself and other chili heads. So yeah, I don't know. Flavor wise, it's okay. It's kind of interesting. It doesn't, for me, it doesn't really match what's it's called with the peaches. You know, the scream part is maybe normal people would actually find this a screaming level. Not for me. I mean, I would say that this definitely is not going to be enjoyable though to most people unless they're chili heads. So it's just kind of this odd, almost no sauce land where it doesn't quite go into anything. So you have to kind of find places to put it. I think this would be interesting. There's going to be a quinoa salad video coming up where I made it with a different hot sauce. You can look for that in June on the summer solstice. But I am probably going to try this in that as well because it does call for vinegar. With the other sauce, I substituted that for garlic and vinegar because it's a very garlic forward sauce. This one, I don't even think garlic's in it, but I could use this for the vinegar and maybe to an extent the lemon juice as well. I don't know. I'm just going to have to play around with this some more and see what else I can do with it. It just doesn't have a readily obvious place to go, I guess. And I don't think that's really a good position for sauces generally to be in. So, but yeah, very curious entry here from Merf's. All their sauces have been kind of unusual, though, I guess, come to think of it, or at least most of the ones I've had. And if you go to the aforementioned table of contents on the blog, you can go directly to all the ones I've done for Merf's. But that is going to wrap it up for this one from Merf's, the Peaches and Scream hot sauce. Now go forward in peace to serve the flame.